All right, so where we're going to start today is actually with Issa and Suzanne. The two of you have been alone only for about a day, but yeah, you've been stuck outside of town with a dragon. You put yourself on dragon detail to make sure she didn't get into anything. And also, as a note, I can't remember if you were there when this happened, Issa, but Suzanne has also gotten larger. She is about the size of a horse now. And with that has come some more shenanigans. Like, she is pretty much always hungry. And as you've been keeping her away from town, she has occasionally stuck her head up and started sniffing, which has had you a little bit of worry, Issa, that she might try to go into town at some point.
Hmm. So I think at some point I just sort of look over at Suzanne and I go, so between you and me, how big are you gonna get? I mean, are we talking like full on adult dragon size? Because I'm gonna be honest, like shopping for you is very hard. Like figuring out what to get you, it's getting a little bit difficult.
And she looks at you and does the whole head tilt thing that she's characteristically been doing when she doesn't understand. And you remember again that white dragons are notorious for their low intelligence, although she seems a little brighter, but still quite stupid for a dragon.
Hmm. It's mostly just Issa talking to herself to pass the time. It's not like she's actually expecting Suzanne to carry a conversation. But I think Issa sort of looks towards town and goes, "So between you and me, Suzanne, what's the over under on them coming back either on fire or the town being on fire? I'm putting what 6 to 1 odds. Is that too generous?"
And she kind of looks at you and then looks back at the town. And she's really trying to understand what you're hinting. And she kind of circles you for a moment and starts to actually head in that direction.
No, 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 no. We have to stay here. You can't go into town. They will literally kill you if you go into town.
And she flaps her wings and actually starts sniffing you. And she's actually uncovered the pouch or pack or wherever you keep your food.
Listen, would a nice rabbit maybe be better than just regular rations? Because I gotta eat too. Let's maybe try and find like a nice animal you can eat instead of my food. Because again, I would like to be able to eat.
Why don't you give me a survival check? I'll say you'll have advantage on this check.
Well, how do you feel about a 19?
19 works. So the two of you, and the reason you have advantage is you're working together. So as you get into hunting mode, Suzanne seems to kind of understand what you're doing here, and she'll either fly up out of the way, or she'll actually burrow under the snow. It's kind of making like a mole digging in the snow to where there's a small lump that you can tell it's her, but for other purposes, like it's very quiet as she's moving under the snow, and the two of you together manage to catch, maybe a few rabbits and some birds. What you've noticed though is that most of the wildlife, although in the winter, the extended winter in Icewind Dale, most of the small game and stuff has either died out or moved on. You've managed to pick what little there was, but you notice that as you're getting closer to the new moon, that more and more of the game and small animals are leaving even more.
Hmm. About how close are we to the new moon proper?
You guys are 2 days away.
So I think after we've handled the skinning and the meat and the feeding. I would you say it's daytime or is it nighttime at this point?
So you'd have spent an entire day away from them. Let's say it's in the morning, like towards 11 o'clock.
All right. So I think I sort of look up at the sky all the same. Obviously not able to see the moon because it's daytime, but sort of look up at the sky and I go, well, I just have this feeling in my gut that something's gonna happen in a couple days. Don't know why, but I guess we'll have to see what happens.
And you hear someone behind you say, and he sort of materialized out of nowhere. You didn't hear, and Suzanne didn't hear, which is very surprising.
Hmm.
And he says, "Wow, that's a beautiful white dragon."
And I think Issa, for her credit, doesn't like flinch or otherwise like reel on the spot, but I think she just very calmly knocks an arrow and turns around, not pointing it at him or anything, but says, Uh, do I know you?
And the guy standing before you, he looks human, although saying he looks human is kind of a vague comparison because he's what first catches your attention is he's not wearing the kind of clothes you would expect in the tundra. Like he's not wearing furs, and in fact, he's wearing it like a sleeveless vest, and he appears to be fine. He's not wearing like any winter boots or winter shoes or anything. But you notice behind him as he's traveled in the snow, obviously to get here, he's left no footprints, and his eyes are like a light blue, and his arms are crossed. He doesn't appear to be carrying any weapons at all, and he has just a wide smile with very white teeth.
Hmm. Does he respond to my question, or do I need to repeat it?
And no, he says he waits for a moment. And he says, "Hi, my name is Sefik. It's nice to meet you."
I am Issa. Tell me, what brings you to this little campsite?
Oh, I've been acquainted with someone in town, and I've decided to take my leave and enjoy the new moon.
The new moon, you say? What's so special about it?
And he looks at you up and down, and he says, "It's the night of the Frost Maiden. Of course, you've been in Icewind Dale. I can tell. You are from the glacier, perhaps."
That might be correct, yes. But you act as if something very special is going to happen. And I think add a character like Issa might know, like, legitimately, but I'm mostly doing this so that people at home and other players can get a feel for things.
And Sefik, his smile, he gets even wider, and he shows even more teeth. It's almost a snarl, and he says, "The night of the Frost Maiden. I don't want to spoil it for you."
Hmm. Well, I can tell you one thing. Suzanne here is not for sale, if that is anything in line with what you're after.
And when you glance back to Suzanne, she's actually kind of cowering away from him.
Hmm. Everything all right there, Suzanne?
And she just continues to back up. She's not taking her eyes off of him, but she backs away slowly. And Sefik says, "Well, I think I'm going to continue on my stroll. I just noticed you here, and I want to remark on what a beautiful dragon you have. It'll be interesting to see how she reacts in the new moon, but as all children of the Frost Maiden."
Hmm. Well, safe journey, good travels, and all that.
He says, "Indeed, when you see Laja, give her my best."
Oddly specific, but all right.
And he turns and walks away. And you notice as he's walking on top of the snow, very Legolas like, where he's not leaving footprints because he's not actually sinking in the snow at all. And he walks away.
Mm. I think I look back at Suzanne and kind of say, well, kind of wish you could talk so that you could tell me what's going on, but yeah, don't get a good feeling from that one, not in the slightest.
And Suzanne, she continues to watch the area where Suffolk vanished into. I'd say he kind of crested a hill. And she continues to watch. And then even after a while, she keeps focused on that direction.
Well, I mean, as long as she's not running off into town and there's no other pressing concerns, I think Issa just does what she can to pass the time, maybe checking her bow, making sure her arrows are in order, etc., etc., etc.
And then as you're finished with that, you look back, you notice Suzanne has buried herself in the snow, and just sticking out is her nose.
It would be cute if it was not a dragon, but maybe it's still a little bit cute.
Which moves us on to the forest. Just after the encounter with Sefik, you've all had a moment to recover your wits. Guardian, you've probably gone back and taken care of the barrels. And all of you have noticed the change in Rorgar. He looks considerably weaker, but I'll let you describe the visual appearance of Rorgar.
Rogar probably has bigger bags under his eyes. I'm not sure how a dragonborn actually ages. So his maybe his horns are longer. Uh, his scales are a little more ragged with jagged edges. He definitely looks tired.
Beauregard, do you feel okay? You don't look too well.
Oh, I'm okay. I'm just suddenly very tired. And for one reason or another, my shoulder is just killing me.
Well, maybe we can get some rest once we bring all this back to town.
I'm not gonna carry him. I already got these 2 barrels.
I can walk. I'm okay.
Yeah, I think he's okay to walk.
Hmm.
Before we keep going, I will Rogar will put one of his hands onto his chest and give himself 5 points of lay on hands healing.
You notice that when Guardian was talking to Rogar, he was just so loud. You know, these kids these days, they're always so loud. I'm not sure why he was talking so loud.
Or maybe I could barely hear him.
But yeah, you guys have made your way back to the point to where the broken down cart was, and you have your 2 barrels of mead. I imagine you're going into town with them?
Garden's gonna stop for a second and look back towards the cave and just stand there for a moment looking.
Yeah, there's not much else there with the cave to explain that no one's really come out of it since you guys left. And of course, Sefik came from the town direction, so it's not like he was following you guys out of the cave or anything. But yeah, it's still pretty quiet. You do hear in the distance, you do hear one of the bells ringing from town, which is normally something they ring when there's an emergency or when they're calling everyone together.
Do we want to make sure these barrels go to the innkeeper directly, or what is our plan?
Well, I figured we were just gonna crack these barrels and spill them all in front of the townspeople and laugh at their plight. Of course we're giving it to the innkeeper.
Nice one.
Crunch. Crunch.
Moving you all into town as you make your way into the center of town, and this is a new map, so let me describe. This area is the meat hall, and this here is the temple. So they're very close. But as you're approaching, the bell stops, and it looks like a large group of people have congregated outside of the meat hall, and some people are kind of still streaming out. It's probably around 12 o'clock. And as you're approaching, Shandar leaves the group of people and he approaches you guys, and then off from the side, Issa, I've drawn you into town because I'd say when you heard the bells, you came in also, because that's usually when towns are having like an emergency or the bells are rung to draw people in. So you heard that and you thought you probably should go see what was going on. And when you left Suzanne, she's actually still buried in the snow. She wasn't moving.
All right. Based on her previous experiences, Issa's pretty much going to walk into town expecting, again, something to be on fire.
And as you all walk in, Shandar, he approaches the group, the 4 of you here, especially you, Guardian, with the barrels, and he has his arms raised, and he's like, "Oh, my friends, you found the barrels. How excellent!"
Just looking at him, just gonna walk past him.
Mr. Shandar, actually, can you follow me to the temple here, where we will discuss our business arrangements.
Oh, of course, of course. Everyone, look at the heroes of Good Mead. As you can see, my contract was successful. I hired these good adventurers to retrieve our mead, and apparently they have.
We
And
will
some people are
discuss
clapping and
details,
stuff as he
later. Some of what he said is untrue. Maybe. We have much to discuss.
Oh, well. Sorry to hear that, friend. In fact, you don't look so good. I take it the cold has not been good to you.
Actually, I do all right in cold, but my shoulder is very sore anytime I raise it above this point. And Rogar will try to raise his arm, and you see him wince.
Oh, well. Age and all. I can see why that would be
Age?
difficult.
What do you mean age? I am 21 years old.
Well, I don't know what that means in dragon years, but you look quite old, my friend.
Rogar will look incredulous, surprised, and look to his the fellow member of his group here for a reaction.
You all look the same to me. Crunch.
And of course, there's the beautiful Laja, returned in one piece. Always good to see. You might like to know, dear, that we're holding the election. All the way until the evening. Today, all the residents of Good Mead can cast in their vote for the next speaker.
Good to hear. Hopefully the election goes well. And I'm gonna go with Guardian.
And of course,
nosing out.
I, by our agreement, I'm sure that I can count on your endorsement.
Left.
What
You're
about?
wearing
Yes,
her
let's-
down, Shandar.
Oh, friend Varian, so good to see you.
Keep up the good work. I think she's almost there for you. But again, negatives. You can't be positive to her.
Oh,
Bad boys only.
oh, that's why she walked away. I gave her a compliment. I should have said
That's
something
right.
bad.
Yep, that's right.
And he yells back at you, Laja. You walk very slowly in the snow.
Nice. Very good.
Just gonna look down to Elijah like I can just step on him. And then drag my heel
I don't
back.
think it's worth it.
It's little effort. He's tiny.
So, Rogar, are you going to take Shandar to the temple, and then Guardian Laja are going into the hall? What about you, Issa and Virian?
Viren will go to the temple with Rorgar and Shandar.
I think when I sort of come around the corner and spot the group, I'm probably just gonna hang around the temple, but I'll probably wave to one of the rest of the party and let them know that I'm here.
Okay. Let's maybe
call
handle
out
that
to-
before.
To let them know that you're there, Guard will just kind of like wave his whole entire body because he's holding the two barrels.
Hmm.
So let's start there with 4 of you guys, because you're taking Shandar with you. Let's say you've led him to the entrance of the temple, just on those outskirts. And he says, "So, my friend, what do we have to talk about? Big day and all."
I think Rogar leads him to the back of the temple where the statue is,
Okay.
and Rogar sits on. Oh no, he can't sit on the bench. He leans on the wall and lets out a deep sigh. Actually, one moment, friend. I'm actually out of breath, which is very strange for me. All this walking.
Actually, let's use the map for it. drag Shandar up there.
And Rogar will say, first, did you ever have a run-in with a man named Sefik?
Oh, I can't say I recall that name. Sefik. Huh. Does he work for Torga, perhaps?
I believe he might. We had a very strange encounter. He actually, he attempted to kill your love.
Oh, you don't say. What a villain.
Yes, he was a piece of trash, and he was able to get away after this attempt on her life.
Well, oh, that's quite a terrible story. I'll let's see. Once I'm speaker, I'll raise some funds to go after him. Of course, once Laja has accepted her position as my wife, she will be under the protection of the Speaker of Good Mead. Considerable fame, I should say.
Well, also about that part too. She can't. You have to actually woo her, you know, and she actually has to consent to marrying you. She can't. You can't just make her your wife.
Oh, well, perhaps they do things differently in the dragon places where you're from, my friend, but,
I'm
dwarves...
Neverwinter.
Oh. Does it ever get cold in Neverwinter? I have to ask.
Actually, sometimes it gets a little chilly.
And why do they call it Neverwinter?
My whole goal here with Rogar is just to delay Shandar, to give Laja and Guardian the chance to interact with the people in the bar.
Okay.
Without Shandar's interference.
I think you can easily get Shandar's attention this way. Before we leave this scene, though, I think... Oh, go ahead.
Circles.
I think Shandar and Rorgar will go in circles, definitely. But Valin, she catches your attention, Isa, as she notices, like the three of them walk past them, the two of you. And she goes over to you and she says, your friend Rorgar, something happened to him.
Yes, I followed mostly out of concern. I was hoping somebody would know what happened to him. I not quite seen an effect like that before.
Where, may I ask, is the dragon?
Well, let's just say that they are carefully and otherwise out of the way sequestered away from town.
Good. The last thing that beast was in town, it nearly destroyed half of East Haven.
Oh, that would make sense. Tell me, does the name Sefik ring any bells?
No, it doesn't, I'm afraid. Should it?
Not sure. I just had a interesting encounter with a gentleman that called himself that and said something about saying something to Laja. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about.
Well, I'm afraid I'm not acquainted with anyone who is a friend of Laja apart from you. And she waves kind of to all of you.
Maybe it's just my paranoia talking.
Hopefully we'll be done with whatever business that the group has in this town and we can get to the more serious matters, such as actually entering Battlehammer Hold and retrieving the map. This delay is becoming insufferable.
Speaking of delays, does the new moon mean anything to you?
And she laughs. You're joking, right?
Half joking, yes. Let's just say it was something Sefik said. I'm trying to get a gauge for.
Well, the new moon is the night of the Frost Maiden. All the sacrifices that all these towns are making is to appease the Frost Maiden on the night of the new moon. I have not seen it myself, but there are those who say that if you're outside on that night, that you can actually see the Frost Maiden in the sky, and some people have actually gone mad from the sight.
More or less lines up from what I know. I don't know. Sefik said something about something happening with the dragon during the night of the new moon. I'm a
It
little
wouldn't-
concerned what that means, but based on the fact that I wasn't able to find my usual game, let's just say that I'm a little bit hesitant and cautious at this current moment.
It wouldn't surprise me. Most creatures in the Dale lose their mind a bit on the night of the new moon, particularly creatures that are more, I should say, in tune with the Frost Maiden. So, White Dragon would probably be particularly out of their mind on that night.
Makes sense.
Of course, I've never seen a white dragon on the new moon. Most people haven't, and I would dare say that's not something we want to experience.
Well, we're just gonna have to hope Suzanne keeps it under control, because I would really, really I would hate having to restrain her otherwise, ruin what we have so far.
The dragon has grown to a size now to where restraining it at all would be a considerable effort.
Indeed. Well, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens, I guess.
If we don't leave soon, I would imagine that we should stay in this town at least through the new moon, because the last thing we want is to be caught out in the open.
Makes sense to me. I'll when Rogar and Virian are done talking, I will remind them of our timetable.
So I imagine Rogar and Shandar are going back and forth. Virian, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, Virian kind of wants to like interrupt them as they're going in circles and just kind of ask Shandar, like, Shandar, is there anything you need to tell us about how the speaker died? Like, we're close now. We just need the straight information to know what we're getting into here.
Oh, his death was quite a tragedy, I must say, but, he lived a dangerous life, that man, and, sometimes that happens. A dangerous place we live in.
Can we make insight checks to see if he's lying?
Yeah.
Sure, go for it. No, you guys are buying what he's selling.
Inspiration.
Oh, I gotta give you guys inspiration.
Oh, if I have it, I'll use it right now.
All right, go for it. Oh yeah, there's more to it than that.
Friend, look at me. I'm clearly an old man. I can keep secrets. And to be honest, we don't really care much about what happens in this town once we leave. But for my conscience, I would like to know what happened to the speaker. And if you know anything, it would be greatly appreciated.
Well, my friend, and I hope you don't mind me calling you friend, because that's how I see you at this point.
Everyone, friend, so I don't take any offense to it.
Oh, very good. Well, let's just say this poor speaker made lots of enemies. Some verbig, perhaps, and some not verbig.
Are you saying Verbig? Because we actually went and talked to the Verbig, and he had no interest or idea of who the speaker even was.
Well, he's a mindless creature. I imagine you killed him, and when you were going to kill him, he would have said anything for his survival. He's dead, right?
Actually, in Virian, I believe you can back me up. The Verbig was very well spoken.
He seemed like a pretty good dude.
Friend was also very friendly.
Love friend.
But of course,
mean-
you killed the beast, right?
Why would we kill him? He had nothing to do with the death of the speaker.
He
In
was a
fact, he had actually made sure to take those barrels as a way to protect them from the elements.
He's a mindless beast, and I specifically hired you to kill the Verbig.
Well, I am a paladin of Bahamut, and I cannot kill something that does not deserve to be killed. That would be evil.
Virian's gonna block the door and just say, "We know there's only one mindless beast here, Shandar, and that's you."
And he kind of huffs. Well, I've never. You're talking to the Speaker of Good Mead. Well, I soon will be, brother.
Well, about that, I believe our colleagues are about to give our support to your opponent in this election.
And who exactly would my opponent be?
I actually have no idea. It is as much a surprise to you as it is to me.
I think you'll find out soon enough that there is no one who will challenge me because I own this town.
So you just think you can get away with murdering anyone you want that stands in your way? Is that what you think you're gonna do here, Shandar?
Well, who's gonna stop me?
I don't know what to do here, Tyler.
I think this is one of those moments where you need to make a very hard decision, is what this is.
Yeah. Let's Virian's gonna cast web
Okay.
on
Okay.
Shandar.
All right.
Amazing.
One moment. Let me get up his stats here. Because if you couldn't tell, I wasn't actually planning for combat with Shandar at this moment, but I do have his stats, so give me a sec.
I've taken Zone of Truth as one of my prepared spells, and I didn't, and now I wish I had.
So let's see through that. It's a dex save, looks like. Each creature. So I think that probably covers you also, Rogar. Yeah. Yeah, give me a dex save, please.
Sure.
So he rolled a 21, I'm sorry to
Oh,
say.
shit.
I'm not sure what our difficulty's 12 there. Okay, so both succeeded.
And Virian will just kind of stand there with some loose spider webs just on the ground and in his hands that are kind of stuck there. He's new at this, so he'll just be like, sorry, I thought I would be better at this. But still, you can't go anywhere.
And he says, "Now, friends, I'm going to give you one last chance before this gets truly out of hand.
Sorry, I thought there was more to that. I thought you were going to offer us gold or some sort of reward, or make a good case for it.
My original offer still stands with a bit of an adjustment. You can have this temple. You did recover the barrels after all. The adjustment being there will be no gold for you did not kill the Verbig. And if you stand aside," he says to you, Virian, "and let me go about my business, I will forget all about this. Yeah, of course, due to the good things you've done for this town. However, if you decide to proceed further, I must warn you. While I may look like a simple man, I did survive the horrors of Battlehammer Hold, and I'm quite capable of defending myself." Not to mention, there are many of my allies here in the town who will make sure that if you try to murder the legal representative, this legal speaker, that you shall go punished. If you didn't know, there's a couple of days away from the new moon, and I hear East Haven's looking for a pair of criminals. That fit a description much like yours.
Friend, I understand. Could you give me and my my ally here say 45 minutes to discuss these terms?
Sure, you may find me in the mead hall.
No, you have to stay here. That's is important that you stay here.
No. No, my friend, you will not be keeping me in your crazy temple. I will be leaving now,
Crazy
unless
temple.
we have a problem.
And
Yes.
as he says crazy
Crazy.
temple, Virion will stab at him.
All right. Well, the three of, well, actually, Issa also. Everyone here will roll initiative for me, please. 1 sec. Let me clear off the.
I'm
Okay,
very
we're good.
scared that he's actually like level 10 and will just murder us.
Way
I'm
to
also-
prove the crazy temple theory angle right.
I was gonna say.
No fear, guys.
Wow, you
Guys,
guys
this
are all
is a place
time.
of worship. You're gonna murder somebody here.
I just
It's
swapped
still
tokens.
full of web.
So back at the mead hall, we're all having a good time.
Yeah, there's definitely loose web everywhere.
Oh, you guys.
Are you concentrating on that spell? Because if I move, I have to make another save.
Oh no, if it didn't pan out, I've given up on it.
So he's actually last, so that's good. I think the first one here is Issa. The door's closed, though, Issa, and you hear
Yeah, I
some
was gonna say,
shouting.
I just hear shouting, but I don't know if that's expected, so I just sort of sigh and look towards the door and go, I wonder what they're talking about in there.
Actually, I need to roll for Valin. Of course, she rolls a 21. I'll just say it's a 2, so she goes last.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have any reason to hold an action. I have no idea a conflict is happening, so I don't think I'd do anything on my turn.
Okay. Takes us to Vorgar.
I don't know. I think Rorgar will step in front of the door. And I will hold an attack action if I see Shandar make a like lethal strike towards me or Virion.
Okay, and then you'll attack back, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that takes us to Virion.
Virion is doing what he set out to do and attacking with that moonblade.
Okay. A 14 will not hit.
Ooh, that's not great.
So as you swing the blade down at Shandar, he steps aside and he draws 2 short swords from his belt. He licks his lips and he says, "Oh, it's so good I've been waiting for a fight. I didn't think it'd be with you two, but I'll kill you just the same." So anything else from Virion?
Give me 1 second here. I got some new stuff I just wanted to see.
Not
I-
how I saw tonight going.
He will use his bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on Shandar.
Okay, cool. Hey, I don't think that gets a save, does it?
No. No.
No, you just marked them.
Yeah, I just marked him, yeah. So Shandar goes to make an attack on you, Virion, which I believe gives you Wargar first dibs.
Okay.
A 16 will not hit, actually. He uses his reaction, and he notices your attack, Rogar, and he steps to the side. But I believe you do get 2 attacks now.
Oh, I forgot I get 2 attacks too now.
Yeah, I do.
A 24 will definitely hit, and then, Virion, we can have you roll your attack.
Just because I'm terrified, I will use a 2nd level spell slot to use Divine Smite.
Okay.
So all we have is just, a illusion, or what do you call it, kind of a vague idea that he was responsible for something, but we haven't established his guilt.
That is correct.
He's
You
just
have
an
no
asshole.
evidence linking him to the murder, yes. 22? That's what I see.
I'm only defending Virion. Yeah, so 11 slashing, 11 radiant damage.
Okay. That's a heavy strike home, and I would say at this point, Issa, you hear a loud bang from inside the little temple area behind the door. I think, yeah, Divine Smite, you'd certainly hear it.
Then I think I'd get my bow ready, but again, it's not my turn yet, so.
But Virion, we had your 2nd attack that you could still make here.
All right.
22 will hit.
All right.
I'm engaged with them, so you get your sneak attack.
Sneak attack. I don't think I have sneak attack here.
I'm
Make it
engaged
on
with
a
them.
rogue.
I
Oh yeah,
don't
you're a ranger.
He's a ranger.
forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll get a sneak attack.
I
I don't know
wish.
why I thought you were a rogue.
6 damage, okay.
Yes, 6 damage, and as he strikes Shandar, the penguins pop out and start nibbling at his kneecaps.
6 damage.
And I also do, because he's hunter's marked, another 4 damage on top of that.
He swipes at the penguins that are tearing like little cuts all across like his face and his arms, but he's still swinging with his sword, and actually through that he makes his attack at you, Virion. With his 2 swords, he attacks 3 times.
Uh-oh.
Not great.
Yeah, we didn't have a long rest now, did we?
No.
Nope.
Unfortunately, well, that's a 22. That's not a crit.
Unless you magically heal when you level up. No.
How about no? Sorry, we did not heal between a level up in this case, because yeah, sorry. 22. I think that's the only one that would have hit.
That'll hit.
That hit for 11 damage.
Ooh, okay. Pretty good.
I think that's where he's gonna stay. Takes us to Valen, who hears also the sound, and she turns to you, Issa, and she says, "What in blazes is going on in there?" And that's her turn.
I don't know, but we need to get that door open and find out.
That takes us to you, Issa.
All right. So my move speed is 30. I think I probably get up to the door and spend my action opening it to see what the hell is going on inside.
I'll let you guys tell me, does the door open into the larger area or into the temple? Which means, are the bodies of Rorgar and Virion actually blocking the door from being opened?
I think it would open into the room.
Into the room that
If
you're
that's
in?
the case, I think I push on the door and shout, "What's going on in there? I heard a loud bang. What the hell's going on?"
Shandar attempted to kill Virion. Or maybe, I don't know.
That's how I remember it.
Do you need my help?
Yes.
Wouldn't turn it
Then
down.
you're gonna have to step away from the door so that I can get in. I think that's my turn because they have to move before I can come inside.
Sadly.
Sorry, guys. Combat in a very enclosed area. It takes us to you, Rogar.
Rorgar will heed the words of Issa and step forward and then make 2 attacks against Shandar.
Where is Rhaegar go? Okay, he's going there. Okay.
Yeah, just one step, just to make a little bit of room.
I think Virion is also going to have to move, and that way the door can open because it's like a few squares. It's a big door.
I think we both said we were blocking the door, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
A 9 will not hit, unfortunately. I think that takes us to you, Virion. Oh, you have 2 attacks. I keep forgetting. 13 won't hit either.
Yeah. Rhaegar's distracted because he's trying to actually remember what happened first because he's not sure.
So Virion will take his step to the side to allow Issa to get in and swing with the Moonblade again. That's probably not
12 will
gonna hit.
not work. 20 will though.
He swings with the Moonblade for another 7. The Penguin Babies come out for another 3. And the Hunter's Mark.
12 total?
Yep.
Again, as Shandar is fighting off penguins, you do make a strike, say like across his chest, and he's continuing to kick them away. He actually, I think that's your turn, right, Virion?
Yeah, that would be everything.
He says just before his attack, "I'll give you one more chance. Surrender now, or you're not leaving this room alive."
Can we have 6 seconds to think about it?
I mean, as the GM, you can have 6 seconds game time, but not 6 seconds in the game world. No.
Damn it. That's not what I was trying to do.
But he goes first. He's going to make 2 attacks on Virion, and then spinning around 1 attack on Rhaegar. The first sword, the 21 and a 24.
Yep. Both of them will hit.
That is a 22 total.
Goodbye.
And the second attack, or the third attack rather, he turns on you, Virion. How's a 17?
18 is my armor class.
Okay. Yeah, so that is 11 damage.
And down goes Virion.
And that's Shandar's turn. I think at this point you can come in, Issa, if you need to, because Virion also stepped out of the way.
All right.
And Valen, she says to you, Issa, should I get some help?
Yeah, go get some help. I gotta figure out what the hell's going on in here.
And the old lady starts moving as quickly as she can. You notice she's still favoring that one leg heavily. She's moving as fast as she can, but it's more of a hobble instead of a run. And
Yeah,
as she's moving away, Ollie says, "Oh, yeah, I told you these guys are idiots."
So, I just want to timeline wise, we both went into the church and the mead hall at the same time. They talked with him for a bit. So we're at the mead hall, not knowing what's happening for a little bit, essentially.
Why don't we cut to the mead hall, actually?
Sure.
Yeah, let's cut to the mead hall for a little bit, and then we'll come back to this to cover this time that has happened.
Just trying to kill some time.
And each other.
I want to do it.
You're just
Well, I
killing
kinda
too
did.
much.
I kind of did.
The Guardian will crouch on down, crab walk in because he's holding 2 barrels. He'll stand up and start making his way towards the counter with them.
See, I was going to wave Zach over to come help you, but
He just
you-
shrugs like, eh. Plump. Drops them both on the countertop. Like, there.
Zach's eyes open wide. "Oh, my friend. Oh, thank you so much. They look to be fine. Where's the third?"
we were only able to get two of them. The other one was empty.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's well.
seemed it took some damage in the carriage attack.
Oh, I see. Well, 2 is much better than we thought we'd recover. Thank you. Well, please, please have a seat. Let me get you something to drink. Eat. You must be cold.
I'm
Oh,
tired,
thank you.
but sure. That speaker of yours.
You mean
He didn't.
Speaker Kendrick?
Yeah. What? You were all told that he was killed by the Verbeeg?
Well, that's the conclusion that was made. Especially the damage to the cart and the tracks. It all pointed to Verbeeg.
Well, we found out some things. The Verbeeg didn't kill him. Sure, it might have grabbed the barrels because he was already dead.
If the Verbeeg didn't do it, who did?
And Elijah, you examined the body. Was it crushed like a pulp because of an ogre club?
No, if anything, some sort of knife, dagger, sword, maybe even. Ended up seeming just know. Oh my god, my words. Seeming to know just how to hurt him without causing too much damage. Probably whoever would be most interested in having power in the town given to somebody else.
Well, that little shit Shandar.
Well, I could certainly see Shandar doing something like this, but that's a heavy accusation. I take you have more proof?
I'll examine the body. A
But
Verbeeg and an ogre would club him to death or just bludgeon him down.
Kendrick murdered that's he deserved better than that. But for us to take any action against Shandar, if it was Shandar, we'll have to have something that links it back to him or anyone else.
Some sort of proof.
Yes, as much as I don't like the man, to accuse him of murder, we need more than that.
Anyways, which one of you two wants our support so you guys get elected?
Zach says, I've been trying to convince Olavisa, and then she steps in. No, I've told you for the last time, Zach. I can't do that. The situation's changed. I can't even consider it.
Why?
She looks a little nervously. Give me a persuasion check, please.
Ah. 9.
You are a visitor here, and while you've done us a great service, I know by your own words that you plan on leaving. Or using advantage.
No, sorry,
No.
I was just getting rid of it from my hand.
Okay. And when you leave, we have to still continue on life in the village. I'm sorry. I have no choice but to throw my support behind Shandar.
So, just spit in the face of the old speaker then.
No, Kendrick was a dear friend, but he's dead. We have to accept the realities for what they are. Unless you have evidence that Shandar killed someone, of course, that changes things. But without evidence, Shandar will be speaker.
I thought someone was running against him.
I'd hoped that one of your group would. You'd stand the best chance.
No,
I mean, we're willing to go behind anybody who is willing to step up, but I don't know that we'll be able to stay in this town.
And Zach rubs his eyes for a minute and he says, Friends, what you have to understand is we all have a lot to lose. If we run against Shandar and we lose, he controls the lumber in this town. And while that may not seem like much, the lumber is critical to producing the mead, which is what this town is built on.
So the wood and the bees all get together and make the mead. And the mead is the thing that keeps the town going.
Essentially, there's a little more to it than that, but
no, Garden's just gonna put his hands on the camera like, I am done with the social etiquettes of all of this. This is infuriating. Kendrick, whatever his name was a good speaker for you all, was he not?
yes, he was.
And yet you can't honor or respect his legacy by standing up to some little half knee-high shit named Shandar because what? He has some little bit of power? And you're afraid of him. He doesn't even come up to my knee, and I can punt him into the forest if I really wanted to.
And he motions to draw you closer.
No social etiquette or dancing. You speak plainly, right to me now.
And he hears you and he leans in even closer. Friend, there are rumors that Shandar is connected outside of Good Mead. People that stand up to him disappear. You, and he motions to you, Guardian, you are a very strong, powerful warrior. We are just simple people. You say the speaker was murdered. I don't have a hard time believing that. But it sounds as though Shandar pulled off the murder of the most important person in the town without any evidence. What would he do to me? What would he do to Olavisa?
How much power does a speaker have? Can he banish people? Can he strip them of their titles and deeds and possessions?
Well, with evidence, sure. The speaker is in charge of the town, but all of the speakers of the 10 towns can coordinate together for passing laws. A person can be banished from a town, sure.
But what other town, a shithole that east of here that burns people?
Oh, you mean East Haven?
Yeah, that wonderful pile of frog shit. They were just passing laws left and right. You walk on the left side of the street, guess what? You're going to get burnt. You look at me in the wrong way, guess what? Your eyes are now gouged out. At least it was simple there, shit.
Well, these are dark times, my friend.
He's just gonna look to Laja for a second. I was like, I came out here to collect tributes for a dead man, so I can go back and spread his ashes and pay respects to him. Yet everyone I've encountered that has even known him can't seem to pay respects to anyone else that's passed away. You need someone to stand against Shandor? Fine. Me. I stand well above him, and if I goddamn win, I'm going to just step on him once we have proof. Let's go get some proof. Laja, to his house. Let's examine the body.
And I'm presuming that Guardian is just gonna start
Yep.
marching his way out.
He's
Yep.
just
I'm
getting
just
up
gonna
and
follow.
walking. Where the fuck is his house?
I'm so sorry. We'll be back later, I guess. And I'm leaving. We're gone.
And as you make your way to the door, in hobbles Valin, and she says, I got here as fast as I could. Because remember, the temple is just like right across from the meat hall. So she didn't really have to travel that far. She's just not very fast. There's something going on in the temple. I don't know what it is, but I think... I think they're fighting with Shandar. I'm not sure.
Who's fighting with Shandar?
God,
I'm not
your
even
friends.
there.
Your friends are fighting him.
Okay,
Oh, By the
I'm
bear's
going to
balls.
leave even
Come
faster
on.
now.
It's just, I'm exhausted. One.
And you hear that, Guardian, that as Valin is saying that, she's not saying it very quietly. And then off on the corner, the guys that normally would hang out with Shandar, they perk their heads up and also make for the exit also. I say that because you have moments where you could try to stop them or intercept them before they reach the door.
I can't do anything with charisma. It's a 0. I'm just heading towards the temple.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going over to help.
So let's
I'll
move.
do something when we get into the temple, though.
Okay. Let's move back to the temple. Sans Valin here. Essentially, we're gonna have maybe one more round, starting with Issa, and then let's see. Yeah, back to you, Issa. One round, and then everyone else will arrive. So, taking it from the top, Issa.
All right. Well, I open the door. What do I see?
You see Virion on the ground. You see Shandar standing off to the side, maybe kind of engaged with Rogar. He's got, Shandar is heavily armed. He's still kicking off penguins. He's got quite a bit of, injuries himself, but I'd say Rogar looks much worse than he does.
Well, I think I'm going to pretty much leap into action at this point, and I think what's going to happen is somebody is going to be getting a little bit of arrow to the face. So let's see. Let's come in with 2, because I have extra attacks, so let's come in with 2 sharpshooters. That'll hit for a 23.
23 hits.
And a 21, I'm assuming, will also hit.
It will.
All right, so the first one does a grand total of 18. The second one does a grand total of 16.
Whoa.
I'm going to then spend one of my psionic dice to deal an additional, 1d6 plus int. So, let's see, that'll be 1d6 plus 2. And an additional 7 force damage on top of all of that.
All right. This is going to get complicated. Because Issa...
I'm not done yet. I'm action surging for a third attack.
Okay, go for it.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't work. It doesn't need to, because that's actually enough to kill Shandar.
Oh. All right, then. Hey, look, I was useful for something.
Okay.
And it is at this
I'm next.
moment... Oh, go ahead.
I'm next. I use Healing Word at 2nd level on Virion, and I use my last point of lay on hands to prevent Shandar from dying.
I think you're a little too late, because Issa just double killed him. Well, actually, no, he didn't lose enough hit points to go past his total, so he's not completely dead. That's right. He'd have to go.
Mostly dead.
He'd have to go negative his whole hit points. Okay, he can come back. Yeah, that'll work.
So he's on the ground. He has technically 1 hit point left, but after I heal him and Virion, I just loom over him with my axe, and I assume Issa is notching another arrow as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
And
at
I
this
think I
moment,
say-
Laja, because you walked out first, I'll put Laja on the scene.
I think as all that's happening, I simply say, all right, so I've stopped the fight. What the fuck is going on in here?
Hold on.
I think I want to know that.
I technically did that wrong. I would have to. I can do that, but it will take me an extra 6 seconds because I have to use Cure Wounds.
I'm just standing in front of that doorway with my back against it, making the thing not open.
You could. Okay, we'll do this. You can bring Shandar up, or you could bring up Virion.
I would bring back Virion first, so I would give him the Cure Wounds at a 2nd level.
Okay.
And then Shandar, assuming he doesn't somehow die outright, I'd give him the 1 point of healing to bring him back.
He's gonna die outright if you don't give him that 1 point.
Honestly, if you want to keep him alive, give him the healing first, and then just have Virion roll a death saving throw, and then 6 seconds will have happened.
I don't want to metagame it that way, though. That's the problem. I'm going to roll a dice here. If it's even, I think Rorgar's just making a snap decision. If it's even, I heal Virion first. It is odd, so I do heal Shandar first. So I give him 1 point, and then I will move as part of my turn, move so that I'm next to Virion, so I can heal him on my next turn. But as my action, I am holding. No, I don't have an action. Sorry, I used it to use lay on hands.
So Guardian, I'm going to take you off because you're moving
Okay.
at the same time as another group. So Laja left first, and that's why she's arrived. I'll give all of you time to do one thing, and that's you, Laja, you, Issa, and, well, not Virion because you're down. You'll have to do a death save. And then more things will happen.
Well, I mean, all I'm going to do is go get my arrows back.
Just pull them out of the man.
Mm-hmm.
Pull a little bit of dwarf out with them.
Then I'm going to sort of turn and go for the door and say, all right, well, I solved one problem, but you're going to have to take it from here because I have no idea who this person is, only that they attacked you. Have fun with that. And then I'm going to, with my remaining movement, I'm just going to start walking towards the actual exit to cover it.
So when I walk up to the door, just all of you explain to me, what do I see with my dwarf eyes?
So you probably see Shandar like gasping for air as he's brought back from death. You see Rorgar preparing to cast a spell on Virion, who I'm not sure what state he's in. I just know he's down.
In which case I will come in, calmly tap Virion and cast Cure Wounds at first level, because I have one first level spell slot left.
Oh, that's so good.
And then I'm going to, I think the one that's right next to Virion is the one that's not broken, so I'm going to just sit on the bench and look disappointed. And that'll be as much as I can do. I'm bonus actioning, look disappointed.
You haven't even heard disappointed voice yet.
She crits on disappointment, you guys. Okay, so all of a sudden, the temple interior, Issa, as you walk in, is filled with henchmen of Shandar, basically. They rush in, they're all carrying weapons, and at the same time as you're making your way to the doorway, Guardian, there is also
I got
sort of one
40
guy...
move. How did they
What-
beat me?
One guy moving, like they made for the door very quickly, and you caught up with one guy, but the rest were ahead of you. So let's see. I'll give you Guardian. You're the only one that didn't do anything. So you have, before we go into what will be combat, of course, you may take a not combat action if you'd like.
I'm a barbarian. And these aren't bees.
You also don't really know the situation of what's going on either.
Am I going to provoke attack if I walk past this goon?
He doesn't really have a clue what's going on yet either, but he will soon. You won't get an attack though if you walk past him.
One. Actually, I'll stop here and just look at Issa. Like, the hell's happening? I'm just looking around the other ones. They're like, you three, try anything, I'll smash you.
And
Issa. Oh, they're BRB. They're BRB.
from the small temple on the other side of the chapel, I'd say on the other side of the temple, you hear Shandar's weakened voice, and he says, "Help me! They tried to kill me, trying to overthrow the speakership and seize the town."
Yeah.
Well, now he's done.
And all of the thugs draw their weapons.
I'm walking out.
Which I believe. Let
I'm
me
holding
clear the
door
combat.
open for this goon.
So if everybody can roll initiative for me, I've got a few to roll, so give me a minute.
This one I kind of needed to go early so I could try to convince Shandar, but nope, dice aren't liking it.
Looks like the winner here is Virian.
All right. I'm going. Virian's gonna just look at Shandar and stand over top of him with his stab wounds and just tell him, "You need to tell everyone what you did. You know what you did. Just admit it. The truth will set you free."
Roll me a persuasion, please, and I'll give you advantage here.
All right.
All right. I'll tell anyone whatever you want. Just don't kill me. Just don't kill me. It's not worth it. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. And whatever it is, don't stick your little penguins on me.
All right, but you make any wrong moves here, and they're coming out of their little ice fortress, and they're gonna nip at every little kneecap and skin tag you have south of your ball sack.
They've already attacked me everywhere. Everywhere.
All right, so you're gonna tell us you ordered the murder of the speaker.
Sure, I ordered the murder of the speaker and everything. I mean, the whole winter. Frost Maiden, she's my cousin. It's all my fault. It's all my fault.
All right, you're laying it on a little thick, but just admit to the stuff you actually did, and I think we'll be good to go here. And then Virian's gonna like grab him by the scruff of his neck and drag him into the main room and just say, "Attention, everyone! Shandar has something he would like to say to everybody."
And Shandar says, "Actually, I think I'm gonna roll a dice here to see which way he's gonna go." All right, boys, put down your weapons. There's no fight today. There's no fight. And they kind of look around nervously and put their weapons away. And he says, "All right, you let me go. And all's done. We're all fair and even."
Are we still in initiative?
Don't think so. Well, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. What do you do here?
I'm holding the door open for the goon so he can go in. And I'm looking around for guards.
Friend Shandar, what happens if you do not run to be speaker?
Oh, I have every intention of being speaker.
Yes, but you just admitted to murder, and we can't have a murderer running a town.
What would you suggest then? Who else has got the guts to run this town?
Anybody else other than you?
Maybe Olavisa? If she had your support, maybe she would feel able to run this town.
We could even invite the Verbig to come run the town. He is much smarter than you think.
Even friend, I would say, would be an improvement.
Right. I'll throw support behind Olavisa on one condition. You're asking me to give up my livelihood, of course, so... The condition is you leave this town and never return.
I feel like that may have already been the plan, so I think we can agree to that.
But we do have to make sure we see this election happen.
Yeah, you haven't painted yourself in the most honest picture, Shandar. We need to make sure everything is going to be square before we take our leave from here.
Very well. I give you my word there will be an honest election, and Olavisa will have my support, and she will be speaker.
What? What? Do I look like old man you can fool? Why would we take your word for it?
Well, I mean, I'm giving you my word, and I'm a trustworthy fellow. I mean, you're the one that lured me here and tried to murder me. I would say between all of us here, I'm probably the most trustworthy one in the room.
Shandar, if you're going to act like a ding-dong, I'm going to take you to the doorbell factory. We're not taking your word for anything here, okay?
Well, then what do you propose?
Have you ever considered moving to another town, Shandar?
Well, I don't know. I kind of like it here.
Yes, but I heard East Haven is actually in dire need of your services. And they just recently suffered a fire. Maybe you could take advantage of that with your weird, shady ways.
Well, I think I can always find a new place, as long as it's not the place you're in.
I promise, if you move to East Haven, we will never go to East Haven.
Well, do I have your word you won't return here then?
Oh no, if East Haven, why would we not come back here? If you're gone, then this is just a town of friendly people.
Well, I have a business here. I'm a pillar of the community.
I think that ship has sailed.
All right, I will throw my hand behind it, Olavisa, and then I will leave. And you brigands, never find your way to East Haven. Is that fair?
I, Rorgar, can promise that I will never return to East Haven on my own volition. Of course, if some sort of witch puts me under a spell, or maybe I'm teleported there by accident, I can't. Those circumstances, I cannot say anything for.
Let's just make the deal. You can move
Oh
to
yes,
East Haven, make the most of your wood business there, and we promise we won't bother you at all.
All right. And he looks at you. Sorry, love. We could have had something special.
It's okay. At least you're going to be, doing well and happy in East Haven. So there's that at least.
Well, unless you intend to rob me, he looks at you, Varian, I guess I'll be taking my leave.
All right. Good luck in East Haven, Shandar. And Virion will extend his hand to shake it.
And he looks at you. Yeah. Well, I just remembered. Time for one more deal. But this one will cost you gold. I don't trust you anymore, not your word. You wanted the location of Battlehammer Hold. I'll tell you for 50 gold.
Just for flavor, I think an arrow comes soaring into the temple at this point and lands very close to Shandar, but not actually aimed at him.
Oh, all right. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Damn you and the whole thing. You'll not have that from me. You've taken everything else. And he tries to push. Like, I'm not really sure if he's secured or anything, but he's trying to push past you, Laja, to get out the door.
Oh yeah, I'm letting him go.
And he says to his thugs, all right, boys, let's go. Let's get out of here. Cursed place. And as his guys scuttle away, Shandar turns and he kicks over a part of the hearth in the center of the temple and he runs out.
I don't know what happened here while I was gone, but can we promise not to do whatever happened here again?
Friend Virian, did you attack him or did he attack you? I cannot remember.
It's all kind of a blur. I don't fully remember it myself.
It is, and like we were having a pleasant conversation about Neverwinter, and then suddenly he has two swords and he's flying them all around.
Yeah, and he said something about murdering the speaker and all this, so it all escalated very quickly.
He admit to that, and he did admit to that.
Unequivocally admitted to it.
He may have been just saying that, but I'm pretty sure he had something to do with that, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel that great about it, actually.
I think I'm going to sleep great tonight.
Well, for now, I guess I will clean up this area and then we can figure out what to do about the election going on. I don't even know if we want to be part of that anymore, but hopefully Olivessa gets voted as speaker and Shandar isn't up to any more tricks.
Fast forwarding a little bit of time Shandar is true to his word. He and his people immediately leave the town, which with him leaving means there is no one running for speaker. And with a little bit of gentle prodding, you guys can persuade Olivisa to run.
You're running unopposed, like it is a shoo-in that you will win.
Oh no, Guardian said he's gonna run.
Oh, Guardian's gonna run? Oh, okay. Actually, if Guardian's gonna run,
inside the tavern.
Guardian will win, actually, unopposed, because Olivisa will not run if one of you is going to run, which means Guardian will be the next speaker.
Congratulations, Guardian. You have become a politician.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of
That's the thing
talking,
you're
something you're
saying
very
here?
interested in.
Yep.
How about I move us back here? Yeah, the election results come in. It's a very simple election. Fief approaches you, Guardian, and she says, well, speaker? Congratulations, I guess. We will work on getting out Kendrick's possessions from his house so that you can assume the house for yourself.
It's fine, you can leave it all there. First order business of Speaker, Fef, Zach, and Ollie 2. I'm appointing you as council members of the town. You will all be sharing responsibilities and duties that would normally be assigned to the Speaker. You will be voting for majority. If you want to make changes on how things are done, you need a majority of the council.
Oh, okay. I think we can make that work.
Mm-hmm. And as the role of speaker will now be considered first and foremost an honorary title, just for showing off around the town. I will be a representative to the other speakers when needed for duties, but most of the power will lie with the council.
I have gotten a request, well, if you're not speaker anymore, I don't, well, considering your changes, Torga has asked that she and her men be allowed to rest in the temple over the new moon. Apparently, well, the speaker used to put them up in his house, but with him being gone.
Does that think one named Sefik?
I believe there was a man Sefik that traveled with him, but Torga is the owner of Torga's Emporium, the traveling dwarven salesman.
Well, as second thing before the first thing's initiated, Elijah, you have the rights to that temple. It's exempt from taxes because it's a holy thing. Whatever. So ask her if they can stay there.
I mean, of course they can stay there. I wouldn't want to make them stay out in the cold. It's not fixed up, but it's a roof over their heads at least. Mostly. Most of a roof.
And as a speaker, can I change practices and superstitious dummery?
Within reason, I would imagine.
Good. The bees are allowed heat.
Speaker Guardian, you realize that if we don't sacrifice to the Frost Maiden, that we will be subject to her wrath.
The people can sacrifice, but the bees are not able to make that decision on their own.
But no town that is sacrificing warmth can have any warmth on the night of the new moon. No one has ever gone against that decree before.
It's either you give the bees their heat, and just the bees, or the mead stops being made and the town goes to shit.
But what if we incur the wrath of the Frost Maiden?
I doubt that'll happen. Because again, the bees are not the citizens of the town. Or hell, just make the room nice and toasty for a while, and then give up the heat. As long as they have heat, find ways to keep them safe.
That's what we do. It's just the night of the new moon is the coldest night of the whole month. It's deadly to even be outside. Well, I will let everyone in the town know that the sacrifice of warmth is not going to apply to the bees this time. And yeah, if you think it's wise, we'll follow your lead.
Yes. There's also the Verbeeg in the cave off in the distance. The Verbeeg is actually rather nice. His name is Doug.
Okay. So did he kill the speaker?
No. He's a Verbeeg. He would have bludgeoned him to death, crushed him, pulped him.
Actually, Guardian, you may have left, but our friend Shandar admitted to the murder.
Convenient.
Yes, it was. I am also suspect of this admission of guilt, but he did say it.
Well, I guess we'll deal with that if he returns. He seems to have left.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then it looks like he ran away from town in fear of being caught. His businesses is now forfeited and rolled into the acquisition of town property.
Oh, well, Olavisa will be quite happy to hear about that. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm quite surprised he left, though.
Very convenient.
I can't remember. Did someone actually grab the books from the speaker's house when we looked at them?
I don't know if you told me that you were going to keep them. You did look at them, though.
I think that was a high thing. because he was the one who lockpicked it.
Yeah.
Varian?
No, I never grabbed them. I just took a look at them.
Yeah. Yes, you can. In the speaker's house, there is books kept by the previous speaker that will show that Shandar was charging exorbitant prices for his wood. Maybe the town will do better with someone else running the business.
Yes, there is a gentleman who had been dealing with East Haven. I had always wanted to. I'd heard that we wanted to deal with, but he hasn't made his way here because Shandar had pretty much cornered the market. I remember he said that in East Haven his services were quite. He was staying very busy there.
Yes, he was
Oh,
quite
oh.
busy with the burning of people.
Yeah.
Yes, I hear that that's something they do in East Haven quite frequently.
I'm gonna get some rest. Feel free to let Zach and Ollie know their new titles. Congratulations, Fef, your accounts. Try to honor the legacy left by the previous speaker. You said he was a good man. Remember that?
He was a very good man, the best speaker that we. Oh, sorry, no offense, the best speaker that we'd ever had.
Well, as I said, new council comes into effect. You guys will help things along and stuck with these traveling troupe of buffoons. Do I need to make a speech?
I don't believe a speech is necessary. Sometimes it's better to leave things unsaid.
Frankly, I'm amazed that you even took the position if you knew it was coming.
I did it just to piss off that little knee-high shithole Shandar.
Starting to think that maybe I need to be on dragon duty a little bit less. I feel like I've missed something important.
Apparently, I can't do things, but other people can.
And fifth, when he says dragon duty, it is a term of endearment of looking after me, not real dragon.
No, it's a real dragon. It's a white dragon, if I remember correctly. Just outside of town. Fef, we have a dragon.
I'm sorry, is that metaphorically speaking because he's a dragonborn?
No, we actually have a dragon. If I'm going to
Oh.
be a speaker, I'm not going to do any of these social damn niceties of lying to people.
Is it a nice dragon?
It's a nice dragon. Her name is Suzanne.
Oh, okay. Well, there are, from what I've been told, many species of dragons that are nice and friendly. I don't see a problem with that.
Look at that. We told the truth, and nothing negative has happened. I'm still standing. No one's exploded. I'm going to get some rest. My legs hurt.
No one has exploded yet.
I'm walking to the speaker house. Laja, you're free to join. The rest of you, Issa, you're good too. The rest of you. See you in the
Wait.
morning.
I feel like he's singling out two of us, Virian.
I don't know why he
I
feel
can't
that way.
imagine why.
I'm still exhausted. I have 1 point of exhaustion.
So you're all going back to the new speaker's house, I guess?
Well, Laja and Issa. Of course, invited.
I'll go
Okay.
with Guardian. Why not? It'll be warm.
Yeah, I'll come along as well, unless Suzanne starts flying around the town.
So that just leaves poor Rorgar and Virian. What are you two up to?
Once moved further away, Rogar turns to Virian and says, I am absolutely exhausted and I feel like I might be dying. I need sleep.
Then we need to go to the ale house. I think that's the right move here then.
If you say so, I will follow. I just need somewhere to lay my head.
We'll find a bar stool to pass out in.
I also have no money. And then Rogar follows.
We will jump to the meat hall where I believe Virion and Rorgar are going to have a good time.
Virion's just gonna order a drink for Rorgard and himself, and put 1 gold coin on the table, and just say this is for both of us, and we're probably gonna need to spend the night here, passed out. You don't have a closing time. This is like an all-night sort of thing.
Well, we do have a closing time, but feel free to make yourselves warm by the fire. There's plenty of room.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Zach.
I think Rogar, even before Virion returns with the mead, has already put his feet up on the table and is half asleep. He can't even stay up past 8 p.m. anymore, I don't think.
He eats dinner.
Virion will just. Sorry, go ahead.
He eats dinner at like 3:00, and he's in
Yeah,
bed
the
by
early bird
6.
special. You don't want to miss that.
Virion will just place the cup of meat on the table for him for when he wakes up, and Virion will sip his by the fire and just close his eyes and contemplate if he was actually attacked first by Shandar.
And we'll cut back to you two later, but let's see what's going on in the new speaker's house.
I'm rummaging through things, seeing what's now mine.
I mean, they've cleared out most of the possessions of the old speaker. What they left were the things that just didn't really make any sense, that weren't very personal to him. It's mostly some weaponry, and then, like the sheets and the beds and the furniture and stuff, of course, all stayed.
Documents and notes?
I think those were still there from when you were all there before.
I don't know. I'll look around for those and see what's all in them. Like, just if there's like, does this town have a debt owed to the mafia type thing? Like, I'm just checking to make sure I'm not getting myself in bigger shit than I already am.
No, but if I remember right, the ledger that's also there talks about the town treasury, and things really don't look good. The town is basically broke, and until they increase meat production, they won't really have any money. And the speaker actually cut taxes so that everyone could have more money to live on, but that didn't really help the town's treasury situation. So you could either increase meat production or increase taxes, and that helped get you out of the red.
Well, that's what the council did figure out now, because I gave them that power.
That's somebody else's problem.
Not mine. Fuck this whole speaker system too. I'm going to institute my own diplomatic and democracy into this goddamn hierarchy. I'm just gonna like wander around for a bit and look at the bed. I'm like, nope. See if I can spot where Laja and Issa have wandered off to.
I mean, I can't imagine Issa's got far. I think she's just sort of looking around like, so what's going on exactly? I mean, I've been on dragon duty. I don't know the specifics, but the hell is going on in this town?
That little shit dwarf that they were fighting apparently is a scumbag, more than I thought, according to the notes. I'm sorry, Laja, the other day, when I wanted to kill him, all of you guys were like, no, don't do that, that's bad. We have to do things slow and nice and take our time to find proof, right?
Right?
The fuck happened in that temple?
I would not be able to tell you that. I don't know what they decided to do, and honestly, I don't think we handled any of this situation correctly.
I just wanted to turn him into a boneless, quivering pile of blood and meat. Just because he annoyed me so. Yes, that's wrong. But I didn't do it. Threatened to. Thought about it. A lot.
Well, now we don't know where we're going next, and we have burnt most of our bridges in the previous towns, so
I helped with that.
I I'll have to figure out what we're doing tomorrow. For now, I think I would like to rest for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, two things about that. The first is if we don't get going soon, we're going to be stuck here in town because of the whole new moon situation. The other thing is that apparently somebody named Cephix told me to tell you, looking at Laja, told me to tell you hello, something to that effect.
Oh, Steven, yes.
Thank
Whatever
you.
his name was, he showed up mysteriously and left just as mysteriously.
I still don't know what his problem was. He explained some stuff, but I honestly don't know if I follow all of it, so
Well, I've said I would deliver a message, and I have. So I too am going to sleep in an actual bed instead of out in the wilderness in a tent in a sleeping bag.
Yeah, feel free to have the speaker bed needed. I'm just gonna stand in front of the door here, and he's just gonna put the maul down with the hammer on the ground and just stand there, and the lights just turn off.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go
I
take
guess
that one because this one, the old speaker was resting in last. So I'd like the other bed if that's okay.
go for it.
Issa, as you're poking around, you find something very, very glorious. You find a tub, actually, in this room, and you know that if you heat some of the water in the fireplace, you could actually have a warm bath.
Hmm. Interesting. I don't think she would know what it is. Like, thinking about it critically, I don't think she would know what it is.
Poor Issa.
So she's just kind of looking at it and goes, I have no idea what that is for. Absolutely none. But I do see a nice little like bow and arrow thing here on the table. So maybe it is one of those things where before turning in, I do maybe sit at one of the tables and mess with the string of my bow, making sure there's no problems in the bow itself, etc., etc., etc.
Before we cut to the scene, we have a moment where we see Issa messing with her bow, her very well-equipped murder bow, I should say.
When it hits, it hits.
And we go back to the meat hall to Varian and Rorgar. Rorgar, as your eyes are closed, sitting very close to the warm fire, your mind drifts to things, and then eventually you very quickly fall to sleep. And when you sleep, you have a very unusual dream. And in this dream, you are in a very green forest, all by yourself.
This is a different scenario than I usually have in dream.
And in this dream, you do have your clothes on.
Oh, good.
But what you notice about the forest, though, is it could be a forest, so sort of like the forest near Neverwinter. It's definitely not a forest here in Icewind Dale because there's no snow. There's all sorts of birds, lots of greenery. There's a beam of warm sunlight coming between the trees. You feel very calm and at peace here.
I think Rogar will start to explore a little bit just to try to figure out exactly if he knows where this is.
And you hear a voice behind you, and you turn, and you see what looks like to be an elderly human male, and he's wearing just a brown cloak, really, with no decoration at all, like a very simple belt that looks like it's just made out of thread. And he's carrying a wooden staff. It almost seems as though the staff is helping him walk. And he's hunched over, has a beard, a white beard that's almost, past his waist. And he says, friend Rogar, come here. I would speak with you.
Friend, that is my word. Hello, I will definitely come and speak to you. And Rogar will stumble over there.
And carefully, the man sits down on the root of one of the trees here, one of the large trees, and he says, please, rest your burdens for just a moment.
Friend, when you say burdens, over the last day, I have had quite a few. Suddenly, everything aches. And I mean everything, even my eyes are in some sort of pain, and I can't look at my arm. And Rogar again raises his arm, his shoulder, and you see him wince as he raises it. I am glad to take my what did they say? Take a load off. And he sits down.
I can see that your travels have not been kind to you.
Well, I'm tired, but I don't know other than that.
You have been the victim of dark magic, I see. It has aged you considerably.
Oh shit. Is that really what happened?
It has. And if you wait much longer, the effects will be permanent.
Well, friend with beard, it's disappointing to hear, but at least someone is giving me this news. I thought I had some sort of malaise affecting me.
If you don't mind, I have a story for you. The coming of Auril to Icewind Dale has been a disruption to the balance of nature. Many creatures. Winter is but a passing season of the year. It is unnatural for life to be in a permanent state of cold. It has shooken the balance of Icewind Dale. Many creatures that don't have a voice have been suffering. Auril the Frost Maiden, her greed and avarice have taken over. There are a sect of druids who used to follow the ways of nature but have turned and now follow her. There is no protector of the green. I tell you this. Go ahead.
I must say that it's not a pleasant thing to hear. I know Bahamut would be very disappointed to not have any soldiers to enact his will on the world. I'm sorry. What is your name, by the way?
My name is Sylvanas.
I heard that name.
I am the god of nature.
Did I see you in that cave?
Indeed, you did. It was once a holy place, but you saw what has become of it.
Well, I wouldn't blame Doug and Friend. But yes, I understand. And it did not please me to see that. Just as it did not please me to see the temple here in this town in such disrepair.
I Those who have followed me, I have reached to them, and they have not answered. They have either perished or been seduced by the powers of the Frost Maiden. I see you. You caught my gaze when you entered my temple. No one has entered there but the guardian of the temple for so long. You caught my gaze. I see now that you have this affliction. And I have a bargain for you. You follow Torm and Bahamut. Have they come to your aid in this condition?
Well, no, but it's only been like a day, and maybe it's a test, you know. Sometimes they do that. They still let me use my abilities to smite some jerk dwarf.
And he holds up a very wrinkled, like old grizzly hand, and he says, "Yes, they give you power to fight for them, but do they fight for you?"
That I'm not sure I could know, really.
The bargain I have for you is this, and remember you have very little time to make your decision. If you return to the temple in the cave, immerse yourself in the waters that you discovered. Abandon your oath, Tor and Bahamut, and swear yourself to me, taking up the oath of the ancients. I will restore your youth, and together we can send Auril back and restore the balance.
That is a very intriguing offer, I must say. And I do feel very tired and worn down suddenly.
When you leave here, you will rest, and you will have a very restful sleep. But remember, you have only hours to decide. You must return to the waters, submerge yourself, renounce Bahamut and Torm, and swear fealty to me. And it must be deep in your heart, this belief. You will no longer be a paladin of theirs, but a paladin of mine. They perhaps will be upset by this decision, so you must not make it lightly. But consider this. There is no one fighting for the green. There is no one fighting for nature. There are no allies I have to call upon.
Sylvanas, I appreciate this. And I hope you know that me and my friends, we definitely will be fighting the Frost Maiden. We have already made this decision. But I cannot give up on Torm and Bahamut. And yes, I may have lost 30 years of my life, but there is an eternity beyond this. I cannot do it. I refuse. But, Sylvanas, I promise you this. I will do whatever I can, including give my life, to free these lands from the grips of the Frost Maiden.
I will let you make your decision, of course. That is your right. Just think on this. The war that you fight for your gods will never end. For that is their way. There is no balance, no peace in their hearts. They will always seek out conflict. You would condemn yourself to a life of constant aggression. They have never listened to my words about balance.
I took an oath, Sylvanas. I took an oath of vengeance. And I took an oath to always fight the greater evil. I will do that, but I cannot turn my back on Torm and Bahamut.
It saddens me to hear you say that, but then that is your choice.
Will you let me rest here at least for a little while longer?
Of
I
course.
do miss the green.
Enjoy it while you can. Unless Oriel is stopped, this will only be a memory.
And I think at that, Rorgar takes up pretty much the same position he's in the bar with his feet up and just head back and sleeping.
And Virian, you notice Rogar is deep asleep. Maybe snoring a little bit. He's got his head back, his tongue hanging out.
Probably needs a CPAP machine at this point.
Classic old man nap. I guess Virian at this point will probably just go into his 4-hour trance and try and forget about the day that he just had.
And Virian, as you find yourself sinking into that trance, for the entire 4 hours, you are shaken with a nightmare of like a phantasmal creatures swooping all around you and, you know, keeping you in torment, constant torment. And you see, it looks like a human female flying above them. She has like stark white hair and she's looking at you with piercing blue eyes. She's flying above them, and holding in her left hand is like a large pearl. In her right hand, she's holding a wand. And every time, like throughout the whole 4 hours, you feel like you're running from her and she's right on your heels. And once your meditation is through, you wake up having received no benefits from the long rest.
Ooh. All right. Well, that was not a great sleep.
So what does that mean for the player? Like, what happens to the character?
The character, yeah, you are currently cursed, Virian, and cannot receive the benefits from a long rest.
Okay.
See, that's what you get for attacking someone in a temple.
No,
Should have
this is
started shit.
not about Shandar.
Maybe it is. Maybe Shandar was the big bad all along. We just angered him.
I think this might be when I raided that tomb.
You Tomb Raider.
But everyone else can receive the benefit of a full rest. Or a long rest, rather.
Well, I didn't take any damage. I just got exhausted from carrying 2 barrels. Oh. Would Fef have told Zach and Ollie too the good news of them being council members?
Yeah, I think she would have.
Well, I only need 6 hours, so yeah.
Does Virian still get like the benefits of a short rest?
No, he cannot rest.
Does he not get
Oh.
back HP?
Oof.
Does he regain HP though, or is that just like no?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, Varian, no.
Not-
One of the
not
limits of the
great.
curse are Virian, you cannot get any rest.
Well,
I can't fix that right now.
It can be, I mean, it's a curse. It can be removed. You'll need someone that knows a thing or two about curses.
We know
You got to give me 24 hours notice.
we know a magical person with an owl.
I mean, I can prep the spell, but I wouldn't have prepped it without knowing. Because it's
Or
not
would-
something I think about.
I don't even know if Virian would know what the curse is. Like, this is,
Yeah, it's just a restless night, right?
yeah, just like, oh, that's weird. I couldn't sleep.
Rogar wake up with Virian still there, or does Virian leave after 4 hours?
No, Virian, still nursing his mead, will just keep sitting there, tired as all hell.
So I think when Rogar wakes up, he looks at Virian and just says, I suddenly feel much better, but you look just as tired as I did, friend.
And Virion being irritable will say, well, you look like shit too. You look like you got 30 years older or something. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Rogar is beginning to understand these jokes that people say. But he, on his face, you can tell that hurts him.
I'm sorry, Roger. I had a terrible night's sleep. Some woman in the sky was chasing me with wands and orbs, and it was, hopefully tonight I have a better sleep.
I had a strange dream too, where I actually just fell asleep in the dream. Isn't it weird?
That's levels of sleeping.
Let's go find our friends, and Rogar will pat Virion on the back and give him 15 points of healing with Leon.
We'll move everyone just outside of the mead hall. Let's all in the same area to discuss whatever is next for you.
If I see Laja, I think Rogar will go to Laja and quietly recount the dream and in detail.
And I think,
Well,
Laja, what you know based off of your knowledge of religion and everything, you know that Sylvanas' claim about being able to restore youth is, completely inside the realm of what he does. And in fact, you've heard that clerics and followers of his, as they grow more in power, they actually stop aging altogether.
It was I must admit, it for a moment it was very tempting.
I mean, I can imagine. It definitely seems realistic to me that that might be an option.
But if Lathander, if someone came to you and told you to disregard Lathander, would you take that for anything?
I don't really know. I haven't thought about it that way.
Do we all hear this?
Probably. Rogar's probably trying to be quiet, but he still has the brain.
Rogar is never able to be quiet.
Yeah, he still has the brain of a 21-year-old, so his whisper is still probably pretty loud.
Yeah, fuck the gods.
Oh,
Well,
God, that is
if you hear anything else, just keep me in the loop, and I'll see what I can do to find out maybe another way of fixing this for you if you don't want to go that path.
I can't do it. I cannot do that. I know losing years of my life is a serious punishment. But my faith is still strong. I still believe. If
Then that should be enough for now.
If it was my faith that kept us from killing Shendar, and I think that was the right decision, right?
Really, your faith kept you from killing, but didn't keep you from attacking him.
He attacked Viri, and I was just defending a friend. I think. Virion, that's true, right? He attacked you first?
Yep, that's how I remember it. That's right.
It happened like quickly, like within 6 seconds, so I can't remember, but I know I made sure to keep Shandar alive. I was not going to actually kill him.
Your memory seems to be very selective in when you can and can't remember any details.
Well, I was aged 30 years in a split second, so I think certain things have gone. Like, look, and Rogar again raises his arm and can't raise it like above his shoulder.
Then maybe you should retire.
Maybe, but I believe I have a mission to complete first. We must We must make sure we deal with this Frost Maiden. I did make that promise. Regardless of any reward from Sylvanas, I made that promise that I would make best effort to defeat this Frost Maiden and save these people from this terror. I know some places, like, it's not that severe. The bees might die. But people are losing their lives. This is not correct. We must find this Frost Maiden and defeat her.
I tried that the other day, and everyone argued against it, saying we have to take it slow, we have to take our time and do things in a certain order. Anyways, what are we doing now?
I think we still want to find our way to Battlehammer Hold, so we'll have to find somebody who knows the way there.
Fine, give me a second. Just gonna stomp into the meat hall.
Coming out of the temple, because you are right there, is Torga Icevane, and she makes her way over to you, Laja. And she says, are you Laja?
Yes, I am.
I was told that it was you who let us stay in the temple. I wanted to say thank you.
Well, you're welcome to stay there whenever you're around here. It's not in good condition, but I'm sure it will be better for people staying in there and making use of the space.
And Torga is wearing mounds and mounds of furs herself, but you see she's a dwarf, just perhaps a little shorter than you. She has pale skin and sort of a brownish, almost gray hair. She's probably 10 to 15 years older than you, Laja.
Torga, do you wish to do harm to our friend Laja here?
I don't know why I'd want to.
Well, your friend certainly did. Your friend Sefik.
Well, that is between her and Sefik.
Can I make an insight check just to
Sure,
care?
go for it. Yeah, she's hard to read. She's wearing lots of furs. Most of her body's concealed. It's hard to tell by body language, but...
So I
Yeah,
think
that's what you
Rogar kind of tenses up a little bit. And he doesn't do anything aggressive, but he definitely is like standing ready with his weapon.
Have you known him for very long? I will be honest, I've never met him before, and he
He
seems to be very sure of himself in some way.
he's worked for me in limited capacity for about a year. He's very good at Guardian.
I mean, that sounds fair.
I don't pry into his personal life.
I would wonder if he recognized me for somebody else, but he seemed to know my name, so I don't know what I did to offend him.
He's a strange one, that's true.
Did he ever talk about being a son of the Frost Maiden?
No, not to me. I'm a little upset he abandoned us. He knew that we were staying here for the new moon. But I woke up this morning, got things together, and he was gone.
You don't have any knowledge of Battlehammer Hold, do you?
That's where I was born.
Would you happen to know how to get there?
Well, of course.
And would you tell us?
She looks at you, and you're as tense as you are, Rogar, and she says, I will tell you, there's no need for violence.
Your friend attempted to murder not just Laja, but all of us yesterday. So that is why I'm tense.
Ah, well, that is unfortunate.
If you were to tell us where this battle hammer hold is, I would be less tense. And you could tell I am being serious because I am an old man.
I mean, we'd also be happy to help you in whatever way we can. I don't know if we are necessarily going in the same direction, but if there's like payment that you might require or anything, I'm happy to help in that way.
Laja not like concerned at all.
I mean, not necessarily. I I don't think Laja gets the sense of trouble from her.
I think at this point Rorgar would not only like take a step back, but probably feel a little embarrassed by his angry pose. So if Dragonborn can be red in the face, he's red in the face.
Torga says, if you have a map, I'll show you where, but you should know that it is not a friendly place. If you go there, you will most certainly be killed.
And at this moment is when I step back out of the meat hall.
I'm going to pull out my map and like unroll it and just keep speaking with Torga as she is marking it on the map.
She draws for you a location, and then she also draws like directions when you get into the valley, like actually how to get to the main entrance. And she looks up at Guardian, as you've stepped out of the meat hall, and she recognizes you because you went to see her caravan before. And she leans over to you, Laja, and she says, that monster that you have traveling with you, you should know that ones like him killed all of my people in Badahamhold.
Is she whispering this?
She's saying it very plainly.
Oh,
Oh,
that's just rude. I'm the
Thank-
speaker.
thank you for letting me know. I'm sorry that you had to deal with something like that.
It's mostly a courtesy for you. He seems to be in control of himself, but you can't tell.
Yes, did you say people or creatures like him or him?
They didn't have all of the branches and moss. They were a shade darker in material, but they looked much just like him.
Well, the only screams I remember when I first woke up were that of bandits. Oh, right. That's not good to laugh at.
Guardian, I don't know if anyone else will tell you, but now that I'm older, I feel confident saying that is a creepy laugh you have.
I'm older than you.
Huh. Well, then I apologize.
If you don't mind me asking, why do you want to go there?
Something to do with a quest, an adventure, a task, a chore, a mission.
We're trying to help everybody who's around here, so
That's it.
maybe some of our answers might be there.
It has been many years since I was there, but I can't imagine it's a safe place.
I'm sure it's not either, but maybe we can clear it out and people can return. Who knows? Odder things have happened around here.
And she laughs. I won't be returning. And she looks at you, Issa. And you? You came from the glacier, I see.
Am I that obvious?
Well, it's good that you got away. If you didn't know, the tribes are at war. They've actually resorted to cannibalism.
Clearly, I've missed something important back home.
I hear they ran out of food.
Well, it's not my business to go back there at this current time, maybe once everything's done and over with. But it's not like I can just magically roll into town with a pot of magical food and fix everything.
Stranger things have happened.
How many of us kind of look away when he says that, or when Asa says that?
Your people need food.
Apparently, that's what was just told.
We have a magical pot. You know we have a magical pot. Why did you say it like that?
Because I didn't want to assume and or pressure anybody.
After yesterday, I'm sure a little pressure can be applied to a couple of individuals here. Right?
Are you saying this loud enough for Torga to hear?
Yeah.
And she says, so you have a magical pot with food to generate food. Would you be willing to sell it?
No, and don't ask.
It sounds. If they're resorting to cannibalism, it seems like we should probably give it to them. Like, that's pretty bad.
It's the sort of thing that we want to go to a place where it can do the most good.
Like, isn't that like Wendigo stuff? Like, aren't there evil creatures created from cannibals?
Oh, I have a
I'm so-
wonderful idea.
Go ahead.
Why not just get your people to come to move to this town? We'll leave the pot here, and that way they can just get the food from it, and the rest of the town folks can make money and use it on something else, so we don't have an issue with the town's economy. That's a word I had to learn last night. I had to look at 3 other books to learn it.
It's funny you'll
What,
say that.
economy?
Yes.
She points to Issa. That one's ancestors moved here long ago for that reason.
Well, in any event, it's a choice. I mean, either we send a message or go there in person to the north and inform the tribes where they can find food, or we go to this temple that you guys keep going on about, which I still don't know why we're going there, but I'm willing to tag along.
Well, let's just send a message. Hope to whatever deities are out there, they don't come here and just attack the place thinking free meal.
Well, that's why I would have to go in person, because it would sort of be an escort thing to get them back here and make sure that my mother isn't doing anything stupid like she did with me, etc., etc.
Where is Villain right now?
Valin is probably in the meat hall.
Poke my head in, yell out her name, poke my head back out. Wait for a second, poke back in. Come here. Poke back out.
Guardian, thank you. Villain, it might be my old age that is afflicting me, but why are we going to Battle Hammerhold now? Is it something to do with a map?
She kind of puts her head to her head. She says, yes, of course. I've told you this story before. You need the
Forgive
map.
me, he's senile.
I was just attacked by a ghost that took 30 years from my life. You have to give me a little bit of room here to move. I'm sorry, but my memory is affected.
Rogar,
Yes.
that's all you get. That's it. You can't use that ticket anymore. You're done.
Well,
No
what
more
about
using
my-
Nope. Your excuse of being old is no longer valid. You've
But
used it
what
all.
if I get tired early in the day and have to fall asleep before 8 p.m.?
I will wrap a rope underneath your armpits and drag you along the snow.
Okay, hands up. I surrender. I am old man. I cannot fight back against you, Guardian. You young. Well, you actually older than me, and this is weird.
I don't complain about my age.
It only
answer-
gets weirder as you get older.
To answer your
Oh,
question,
that's correct. Maja, you might be older than I am.
I am older than you are.
God damn it! This is weird. View, how old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
Okay, great. I can call you a youngin. What about you, Asa?
I'm about 503. It's,
Ah, damn it. And Torga, how old are you?
Torga says, I don't think I'll answer that question.
yeah, it's kind of rude to ask a lady her age. I'm just gonna throw that
You know
out
what?
there.
I am just kind of angry. 30 years, I guess for some is not a big deal at all.
Nope. Moving on.
I mean, if it's a lot to you, then it's a lot to you, but I'm sure you'll get used to it soon enough. And we can still work on getting you back to your normal self.
I think after a few hours it's permanent, according to Sylvanus, and that's a god. So
30 years is nothing. For me, by the time you're 50, you're only like halfway through college. So you're like a sophomore.
Is that
You
the
know-
thing you put on a stick and put over the fire?
Sure.
sorry, I've kind of derailed this whole conversation. Oh, I think it's my old man. No, I can't even say.
Anyway,
I am sorry that we're your last hope.
I am also
Torga,
equally sorry.
thank you for your help.
Villain says, I am very sorry for Icewind Dale that you are the best that I have. But to reiterate what I said before, I need you to go to the old Dwarven Kingdom to find a map that'll lead us to the ancient city of Yithrin. I had a map, but it was destroyed in East Haven. So this is the best we have.
Right.
And Torga hears that and she says, Oh, you're looking for the king's map room then. You'll have to go very far. And she motions Laja for your map.
I hand it back over.
And she starts scribbling like a actually very detailed diagram of where to go. And she says, I don't envy you. It would be, you'll have to go very far. I hope you're very good at fighting.
I'm sure we'll do well enough.
Yeah, I think I've swung this big thing around once or twice. Is this the right end? As he points to the bottom of the mall.
No,
Yes,
Guardian,
you actually stab people with that end.
Right.
was he being sarcastic?
No.
Is that sarcasm?
Yes.
No.
Don't get it. I may be 30 years older now, but I still don't understand this.
He pulls out his little book and he just flips a few pages and you just see him like check mark something and closes it. Anyways, do we want to get rations from the town and leave the pot with them, or do we take the pot with us and what? How much can it
I mean,
do?
you're the speaker now. I think that's your call.
No. It was a group find. It did have human bits in it. Oh, speaking of finding stuff, Twinkle Fingers, you, Valen.
Valen raises an eyebrow, the one eyebrow that is not covered by the eye patch, and she says, Twinkle Fingers?
You deceived me with an owl. I'm going to call you Twinkle Fingers. Anyways, Varian found a couple of things at an old Stovakor's cave.
Okay.
He just nudges Varian, like, let her see. Give Varian a slap on the cheek. Are you awake?
Sorry. Heard something outside. Yes, I'm awake.
Let her see those little things you found in that crypt.
And I pull out the things that we grabbed from the grave and show them to her.
And she takes a look, and you notice that she doesn't touch them. And she says, "Oh, yes, those are very old. What you have there is a pearl of power and a wand of the war mage."
That would explain why I had a dream about a woman chasing me with a orb and a wand.
So a usual dream with a lady?
Yeah, but not the same ending.
Oh. It's what you call a happy ending, right?
It's a damp ending, yes.
Fuck you.
And she says, "You took this from a tomb. Is that what you said?"
Oh yeah, I love taking things from graves.
It was accompanied with a Stovakar.
Well, those are powerful artifacts, or powerful magical items. Of course, it's very common for things in tombs, if the proper ritual is not done, for them to carry a curse or other such negative energies. But if you've suffered no ill effects,
Well, I did sleep and I did not have a great sleep. Is that something that can happen?
On your,
y-
you found them in a tomb, but we were just in a tomb, and I. Hold on.
Hmm. This
Did
is
you
what
do
we're
something
thinking.
you weren't supposed to do, Virian?
There were no things that said I couldn't take it out of the tomb.
I mean, generally, you're not supposed to take things out of tombs.
And
But
he
then
got
I
the
wouldn't have
sword.
this sword.
Yeah. And the Stovakar didn't attack him, so clearly he's meant to have it.
Is there any way, Valin, you know of making this better, making this right? I would like to have a normal night's sleep without the woman chasing me and more, consensually being with me again.
Yes, can you make it a
Well-
man chasing him?
That does sound better.
the normal way would be to return the items, or of course you could have a spellcast or remove curse spellcast that would perhaps fix your situation, if that is indeed what's wrong.
I hate to say this, but I don't believe we have time to go back. If we did, I would be going back in, 30 years. I'd get that back, and I'd. Whatever.
Well, we can't live in the past now.
Can you do something about it?
If I had my spellbook, I certainly could. Unfortunately, the only spells I'm able to cast now are the ones I've been able to recover from memory, which there weren't many. No, I don't have a way to help you. If I could find the spell again, of course, I could cast it. And your
Another
best bet
question
is to
for you,
find
then.
someone else that could. And she turns to you, Laja. She says, perhaps your friend here.
Well,
I will do some praying and see if perhaps that is something I'm capable of doing.
Yes, your friend needs prayer, indeed.
thoughts and
Thoughts and prayers.
There are many thoughts and many prayers, maybe not the ones that you want.
Honestly,
and one last.
I will take anything.
And Ollie turns, and you can tell the two are exchanging telepathic communication. And Valin says audibly for all of you, and she says, "Yes, Ollie, we will certainly let them go first into the Dwarven kingdom of death."
Oh yeah, I can take a hit. You look like you're gonna break your whole foot if you stub your toe.
Wait a second. Is it actually called the Dwarven Kingdom of Death, or is that the nickname you've given it just now?
I think it's the nickname it's been given by the fact that it's people who are attacked by apparently creatures similar to me. Other than that, it was probably known as the Dwarven Kingdom of Sunshine and Happiness.
Can we call it that? I would prefer that.
Yes, let's all
Why
go
don't we
to...
just call it Battle Hammerhold?
I will see if I can procure us a form of transportation as speaker of this. I really wanted to go against him and have like a debate on a stage and see how long he could rant and just simply me telling him to shut up. God.
Guardian, I'm sorry. Things happened, and at least he's not dead. We could go track him down in East Haven. Although I gave him my word that I wouldn't return. Actually, I don't think anyone else did. Really.
I was contemplating having the guards arrest you all. He's got to step into the meat hall for a second.
And Torga says, "It was a shame. I was very interested in hearing Shandar's proposal for health reform."
Did you?
I'm
Did you
pulling
hear?
Zach out.
He did admit to murder. Well, I don't know.
This is an episode. This is a whole mood.
Tyrion, he did that, right? He admitted it.
Yeah, that as far as I can recall, he admitted it.
Tom is not giving me a strong sense of confidence here.
Oh my goodness.
I am so glad we didn't murder him. I'm glad he is still alive.
Come back out with Zach.
Next time, let's agree not to hit first and ask questions later. Maybe have everybody here speak about what's going to happen.
Oh, no.
And then
Next
decide
time
from there.
anything happens in this town, you ride by me first. Especially doing what you guys did in the temple. Zach? Hello? Council
Hello,
member
speaker.
Zach?
Speaker Guardian.
Yes. Couple of things here. First, Valen, I have a question. Can you copy magic or remake enchantments onto another object?
Well, yes, I can copy from a scroll. I can't duplicate an existing magical. I can't duplicate magic that I can't understand.
Okay. Well, that plan went out the window. Are we okay with leaving the pot here in exchange for some rations when we stop back? They can use it more than we can, and it will definitely fill more people than it can for us.
I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you could hand it to me, please, Laja.
I'll go into my backpack. I will rummage through and grab the pot, which probably is on the bottom.
I'll hold it up if I'm given it.
You have it.
I hold it up, and I look at Zach, and I was like, this is very precious. Okay, Zach? Just as precious as your mead. This makes food with just a cup of water.
Oh, wow. That will seriously change things here. Are you leaving this with us?
Yes.
Why?
There is a condition.
Of course, name it.
No one is to be charged for this.
I think that's fair.
Anyone coming in needing food, provide. Let people know that this is a place that can help its people. If we can get more people to come in here, if we can get more people to work for us and expedite whatever we do for making gold in this town. So tree cutting, mead making, ice carving, I don't care. but this will allow the people to spend their money in different ways. I had to read 2 books. And the other thing is I want you to try and talk with the Verbeeg. He might be able, with him and friend, might be able to help with wood cutting too, because as far as I'm concerned, Shandor, since he ran away from town after admitting and confessing to murder, or plotting
right.
to murder, conveniently, his holdings are now belong to the town, which means his company is now liquidated into the town's assets. So
That's what Fef said. That's very generous. That's going to change many things here.
yes, I want to return to a town that's prospering. I am going to be leaving here shortly to assist with helping the rest of the 10 towns and the people here, including the people of this town. So you, Ollie 2, and Fef will have to work together to come to consensus.
I think we can give that a shot. It's never really been done before, but I'm sure we can make it happen.
Kendrick was a special one that had the ability to see the people, understand their needs and their wants. With a council, each of you have a different perspective. You have the people's best interests and hearts. Ollie, too, knows what's best for the town. So. And Fef will be the tiebreaker. She seems to be a middle ground individual. That way there, you all should get some proper things moving in this town. But first and foremost, we need a vehicle and we need some rations. Especially now that you have this cauldron, pot, whatever. That should be easy to do, right? For rations?
I think we can work on something for you, Speaker.
As quickly as possible. We have a lot of land to cover.